News Radio 700 WLW.
So the first 250 years of America, certainly economically, overall, through much hardship, a rousing success, right? America is economically the largest, biggest, best economy in the world. But what about the next 250 years, Ed? Can we keep this pace up?
Well, let's talk to an economic strategist about it. We've had him with us many times. He is a keynote speaker of some note and travels all about. He's also the founder and CEO of Potomac Core. He is our good friend, Dan Varroney. Dan, welcome back to the program.
Well, thank you so much. I'm happy to be back with you, and a happy Tuesday.
So, Dan, you heard what Rock was saying, us talking about 250, and you laid out where you think this country might be heading and how we can prosper as much, or if even more so, than we have in the past 250.
You know, I think it comes down to innovation. Our competitive edge today is innovation. We're the most innovative and the most productive economy in the world. So every era of our prosperity has been driven by innovation: railroads, electricity, aviation, computers, and the internet. I think the next year is going to be driven clearly by AI, advanced manufacturing, biotech, robotics, and energy and innovation. So the question isn't whether these industries will transform the world. The question is whether or not we as a country choose to lead them. And I think that's mission critical. So as you know, the president has been determined about U.S. leading on AI, and I think that's absolutely right. If we are going to continue to be the world's largest and most competitive economy, we've got to lead on things like AI, because AI is going to define not only the next 25 years, but the next 250 years.
Well, and talk about AI, Dan, because I think a lot of folks, while intrigued with the possibilities, are also scared to death of it because they're worried about, you hear all the reports. We've had people on talking about how, some of the jobs it's going to replace. I mean, just look at like the Hollywood film industry. That's just one example of like all the jobs that are getting taken and done by AI now. Yeah. So if this AI is this thing that we need, I feel like we all need to embrace it, but I feel like everyone's not ready to embrace it. So how can we do that?
I think that's fair. So let me give you an example. So my late father-in-law was an electrical engineer, and he was part of a group of people that designed and built the black box that was in the lunar landing module. And interestingly enough, there was a lot of handwritten code to design technology like that. Today, as we go into the future, instead of a lot of handwritten code, where every time you had to make a change in product design, you had to go back and you had by hand rewrite all the code. Now you don't have to do that, and you speed up development of new products and new technology. Now, what I just said is that doesn't take the job of the designer or the manufacturer away, but what it does do is it speeds up innovation and product development and product deployment into the marketplace. That's absolutely exciting. So think of all the different medical technologies that are out there today. We're lowering cholesterol. We're coming up with different forms of cures for cancer. And to some extent now, AI is developing those. So what we want to do is to maintain our global competitive leadership and unleashing technology that keeps us on the bleeding edge of innovation. That will create more jobs. And I believe those jobs will be in manufacturing. The president, through his big, beautiful bill, I think has done a highly impactful job of encouraging manufacturers to locate in this country. AI is going to further empower manufacturing design, and the manufacturing process. That will require new skills. Those skills will require people. People still have to make product. Machines can't be left on their own device to just go and put things together. So I think this is going to be a job creator, not a job eliminator.
I agree with you. One hiccup I see, though, and Dan, maybe you disagree, but when you talk about, in your article, America must once again become the easiest place in the world to build. But I feel like building is expensive now. Building a home is expensive. Building a business,
Right.
just again, like functional concrete, framing, like just stuff costs so much more money. So how can we build infrastructure when the price of that is so high right now?
That is a great question, and that was not the recent op-ed, the one before that. So what's interesting, so we talk about things like housing. I can go to any sector in this economy, and I can tell you that we have got regulations that are creating friction. That friction causes delay. That delay increases the price. And we don't recognize that. And I'm actually working on my next op-ed where I'm talking exactly about this, that we've met the enemy, and the enemy is regulation. And what I've learned here through my clients in multiple different sectors is that they're saying, first we were worried about regulation at the national level. Then we were worried about it at the state level. Now we're getting regulated by the local towns and the counties as well. And the cost of regulations are through the roof. For houses right now, so when we talk about the cost of housing being so high, yes, the cost of land is high. But the other part of high costs around housing is that there's $130,000 plus in regulatory costs at the local, state, and national level. And that's just ridiculous. I am not saying we should eliminate regulations entirely. What I'm saying is that we've got to be fact-based and evidence-based around regulations. What do we need? Why do we need it? And then how can we streamline what we have in such a way where people are still safe and we're not delaying building processes as much as we are right now? That, I think, is the key to it, that we make a big mistake. We think that when we regulate and we add more regulations that we're making things safer. We're making things more expensive, and I'm not convinced that we're necessarily making things safer.
We're talking to Dan Varroney, and Dan, going back to the AI topic and tech, it would seem to me, I'm no Einstein, but I think that the Chinese would probably be our main competitor in that regard worldwide. Now, the Chinese are notoriously not known for playing fair, shall we say.
Steal our stuff.
Yeah. How do we go about defeating that and win the day?
The president, meaning President Trump, has been very direct with President Xi in China. In no uncertain terms, stop stealing our stuff. That, in large part, has led to the tariffs. And the president has indicated that if this continues to a very large degree, he'll go and impose higher levels of tariffs. And I think that's one way you go at it. You just let them know at the get-go that it's just no longer going to be tolerated. This country has tried to prosecute cases through the World Court, and we haven't gotten anywhere. And for small and mid-sized businesses, we have given up billions of dollars. There's billions of dollars of loss around stolen intellectual property. By us leading on AI, we can build firewalls around it and protect it before China gets too far out in front of it. They build their own firewalls, and then they own it. This is why the president has been insistent, as he has, in the U.S. owning and leading on AI.
Dan Varroney is our guest. And Dan, maybe this is outside your realm, I don't know, but for a young person, you talk about it, a lot of folks discuss how AI is the thing you got to be able to understand and utilize moving forward. Are schools teaching about AI, or how can a young person, kind of a young go-getter, how can someone familiarize themselves with AI in a way that's meaningful, that could help not just themselves but the country?
Well, I'm going to tell you, if I'm I'm a kid in grade school, and I'm getting ready to go to high school, I'm talking to the faculty and just saying, how do we get AI instruction in here so I can be on get an upper hand in moving into an opportunity? and then going to high school and insisting that be added to the curriculum. And I think the other thing is I think that parents have to be far more aggressive in saying, we need to modernize our curriculum, and we need to have more science and more technology so our kids can get a competitive edge as they move into the workforce. I think that's how they do it. They go into the grade schools and the high schools, and they just say, this is what we need. And then making sure that they go to institutions that will give them that training when they get a college degree. I mean, you want to have a degree that's going to be absolutely useful. Having something in and around the area of AI and technology will be essential. I was this morning talking to a lifeguard at the pool that I swim in every day, and he goes to Virginia Tech. And I said, what are you studying? He said, I'm going to be an electrical engineer. And I asked him why, and he just went off into this tangent around, because technology is advancing. I want to be on the leading edge of it, and I think there's going to be great job opportunities. It's just that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're on our way. 249.78 and counting. Dan Varroney, we appreciate it. People want to find out more. Where can they find out more?
They can find out more at danielvarroney.com and at potomacor.com. And thank you so much for having me with you today. This was very exciting.
Awesome.
Always love it.
Great article, Dan. Thank you, bud.
You're welcome. Bye-bye now.
See ya.